Hello everyone, this is Anna from Start Abroad, and I'm here to talk to you today about how to buy a car in Costa Rica. If you would appreciate more videos like this about how to move to other countries and how to get all of the practical and logistical things done, please subscribe to our channel. So first, why should you think about buying a car in Costa Rica? Why not use public transport? Isn't it walkable? Why can't I rent a car? Costa Rica is unfortunately not the most walkable country. Having a car or some other way of getting around on the roads can be really useful, especially if you're thinking about relocating to some of the more popular locations for expats, like beach communities or mountain towns or even the suburbs outside of San Jose. Things just tend to be a little bit spread out to not have a car if you're full-time living or living for several months at a time in the country. And it does make it a lot easier to explore all of the beautiful places that you can check out here. So for that reason, we recommend to most of our clients to seriously consider getting a car. Car rentals can also be expensive in Costa Rica. If you're looking to rent a higher clearance SUV, which we highly recommend if you're going to be anywhere where there are dirt roads, most beaches, then it'll probably cost you something like $500 per week, maybe more. If you're seeing prices lower than this, please read the fine print. There are some car insurance requirements for rental cars in Costa Rica, and they're not always disclosed very clearly from the rental companies. Finally, cars don't depreciate very quickly here in Costa Rica. They actually hold their value really well. So if you want to buy a car and then, let's say, stay in Costa Rica for a couple of years, sell it later, it's likely that would be much cheaper than actually having a rental for even several months. To give you an example, we bought our 2007 Toyota RAV4 over a year and a half ago now for about $10,000 US. And at this point, I'm pretty confident we could sell it for $9,000, maybe even more. A little bit more information about what we're focusing on in this video. We are going to be speaking about used cars specifically. That's because buying new cars just isn't as common here in Costa Rica. Prices also tend to be much higher for new cars than you might be used to if you're coming from a country like the United States or Canada. You can certainly order a new car from a dealership locally, but you should expect also for it to take at least a few months to arrive in the country. But now let's get into the details of how to actually buy a car in Costa Rica. First, where in the country are you going to buy? We generally recommend that you look in the Central Valley. That's the area around San Jose. And this is because you will just find the most selection there. The most options will be available there given the population. And if you're trying to buy, let's say, closer to the beach, the conditions can just be much harder on used vehicles. From the road conditions to the salt air causing corrosion, it's typically better if you're looking in the Central Valley. What about where to find a car? There are a few sites that we recommend for used car listings. In particular, CR Autos, Encuentra24, and of course, Facebook Marketplace. And then how can you go about doing test drives in Costa Rica? To check out cars in Costa Rica, we highly recommend, probably the most important thing that we recommend about buying a car is to bring a mechanic that you trust with you in the process. Especially if you have a smaller budget, especially if you're going to be looking at an older vehicle, which, because cars are more expensive here in Costa Rica, is likely if you're looking to spend, let's say, under $20,000 US. While a mechanic can't necessarily catch every single thing that could go wrong with your car, can certainly prevent you from buying a lemon, can also give you advice on the value of the car and what makes sense given the current market, and may even be able to help you with some translation and negotiation. A very important part of the car purchase process here in Costa Rica is the legal Traspaso process. That's the legal transfer process that occurs when you are changing the owner of the car from the seller to the buyer. A Costa Rican lawyer must perform this process for you, and it does require signing some paperwork and also paying a certain amount of tax and legal fees. These are all actually calculated off of the sales price of the car, so you can know what these will be in advance. How to send money to the seller. This is actually probably the most complicated part of buying a car in Costa Rica, because for most expats who are coming into the country, you're going to want to be sending money from an international bank account, and that can take several days. It's not something that a Costa Rican seller might be used to. If you were transferring money locally within Costa Rica, it would usually take a matter of seconds. So the fact that the international transfer can take a couple of days results in a longer negotiation process potentially. One way to handle this is to arrange with the seller some kind of deposit up front, usually 5 to 10% of the car's value, maybe a flat $1,000 or something to that effect. What we highly recommend is to organize all of this with the lawyer in the lawyer's office and to hand over that money in cash, again, in the lawyer's office to protect yourself. What you can do then is also sign some official paperwork that states that you are giving this money as a deposit, that as a result the car will be held for you, and then you can initiate your international transfer. Once your transfer hits the account of the seller in Costa Rica, then you'll be able to complete the legal Traspaso process, again with your lawyer. Once you're done with the Traspaso and you've signed all the paperwork, you can walk away from your lawyer's office with the keys and with your new car. You should then receive your registration in the mail to a Costa Rican address within approximately a month. In the meantime, it's no problem. You can drive the car legally. Just be sure to keep the Traspaso paperwork with you when you drive, along with your passport. You should understand a little bit about what Costa Rica's annual inspections look like in insurance. So the first thing to look for when you're thinking about buying a car is to make sure that the car has a up-to-date inspection sticker on the windshield. This will say DECRA, most likely, and most people will call it DECRA. That's just the name of the company that carries out these mandatory annual inspections of cars in Costa Rica. A seller might also refer to it as Reteve, which is the name of the company that used to do this. You can also actually look for the most recent report that the seller should have received during the annual inspection. That report will list any issues that were found with the car, any problems that were flagged during the inspection process. You should also know that cars are assigned to be inspected based on the last digit on the license plate. So for example, if the last digit on your license plate is a 2, that means you need to get your annual inspection done by the end of February each year. The license plate actually stays with the car in Costa Rica, so this won't change when you're taking on this car yourself. It'll still be, February every year that you have to worry about this. Insurance also stays with the car, at least up until when it's time to renew. There's a mandatory insurance plus tax that has to be purchased at the end of every year. It's called Marchamo. You should also be checking any car that you're interested in to make sure that it has a current Marchamo sticker in the windshield. Marchamo prices are based off of the assessed value of the car by the Costa Rican government, and you are charged at the end of every year for this. The insurance that comes along with it covers medical and other expenses associated with getting into car crashes. There are also options to upgrade this insurance coverage. It doesn't have to just be the basic level. You can upgrade either with the government insurance provider, which is called INS, or with a private provider. If you want help with this process, we provide it. Start Abroad offers a comprehensive car purchase service where we'll take care of all of these steps related to buying a car in Costa Rica. We'll pull listings that meet your requirements. We'll send along a wonderful mechanic to do these inspections with you. We'll coordinate with owners and negotiate. We'll also connect you with our very helpful bilingual lawyer who can take care of all the legal processes and the Traspaso for you. Just overall saving you a lot of time and hassle and clearing up what can be a confusing marketplace for new folks to Costa Rica to navigate. We are relocation experts who have helped hundreds of people now move to new countries, and we would be happy to help you as well.